In this tutorial we will try to create a really simple building in the procedural building editor. We will go through most of the editor nodes, and after that you will be able to create your own building. I've created some new meshes. These are really simple basic meshes, and all with the pivot on the left bottom corner. Always make sure before exporting to place it at 0, 0, 0. And also the names are with the sizes in it. So one other thing, if we take a look in the editor and we place a mesh, you will see that when I place it, the it's on the X and direction, and Y direction is facing towards us. So if you're working in another modeling program, then the axis might not match up with Maya. Just make sure they match up in UDK. So when you export it, that your mesh, when you import it, looks like this with the bottom left corner. So that's it. And I've imported these meshes. They look fine. This is our preview scene here. And right now we will try to make a rule set with our new meshes. So when you right click, you see a lot of nodes you can choose from. Meshes, the one we used already, you can just create a mesh. Yeah, you have also the ability to change the scope itself. So all these rules, most of them will change the scope. So we have the alternate node, which basically means it will place a model of A, then a model of B, or a rule of B, and then a rule of A again. And it does that by it repeats that in a specific axis. So if you want it from left to right, it's X axis. If you want it top down, it's Z axis. And size A is a static size. This one won't change. So let's say you have a window, you don't want the windows to stretch, but the parts between the windows, it's okay if they stretch. So let's give an example of that. We throw in this mesh, and this one. So we actually want, first we want a piece of wall, then we want window, and then comes the wall again. B equals B will be stretched in this case. So these meshes are 96 by 160 X 96 C 160, just to make sure they're scaled properly. If something looks weird, it's probably because these values are incorrect. So now they are correct, and we can change the alternate. So size A is 96, and size B is maximum is 96. Let's see what happens. And nothing happens. Let's see why. The procedural building is too small to actually. I can measure the build in Unreal Editor using middle mouse button. You can click and drag. You can see that the building is only 128, and our alternate needs 96 times 2, and then it resizes B. Let's see here. Let's create a bigger wall, and we immediately see the windows coming. Oh, I just moved it. So here we have it. This needs to be at least 192 or 193 because B needs to be at least 1. So if we make this let's see, where's 192? This is 192. Okay. So it might create it, yeah. So this is exactly what goes wrong. It creates A twice, and because B equals 0, B is also 96. Then you get this weird thing. When you make it a little longer, B will be really small. So it will be like this. You can see the window, but it looks ugly. Now, in this case, we want A to stretch and B to stay the same size. Or the window. We don't want the window to stretch, but the wall. So what we do is we go in the alternate function and invert pattern order. This means it goes from B to A to B. This means it will first a window, then this. So if we turn these two around, you can we'll see that the window stays always the same size. And now we also have a window here. And why is that? That's because this size here this is going really slow, but the size this size is more than 96 units, so it will place A once because it's 96 and it's forced to be 96, and B will be squeezed down, so there will be tiny parts of B next to it. And that's where this line comes from. So that's the alternate rule. We can, for fun, just make it a little bigger. So now we can see the windows, and when we pull it up, you will see that the windows get stretched. That's because we have the alternate function in the X direction, and we don't have anything in the Z direction. And we can use a repeat for that. So we can put in a repeat, and the repeat in the Z-axis, and we want it to repeat the size of this mesh, so every 160 units. And it automatically stretches it a little if it doesn't fit exactly. In this case, it stretches it a lot, so we might want to make our building a little higher or lower so it fits better. Let's so you can see that the windows automatically shape a little with the height. So, and now the fourth one comes. If we pull it one down, there will be only 3. And now these will be squeezed a little. So that's the repeat function. We can also repeat it in the you can also repeat something in the X direction. Just change this. And